sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, thank you. Oh, God damn it.
It's your birthday, yes it is your birthday, it's your birthday, yes it is your birthday, it's your birthday, yes it is your birthday, we are fucking psyched. You're 1 year older than you were before, you're 1 year older than you were before, you're 1 year older than you were before, we are fucking psyched.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cortez the Conqueror. Does everybody want to help me out here to wish Canna Alicia a happy birthday? It was just her birthday yesterday. How you doing today, Alicia? It's the birthday
Pretty
girl.
good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
I didn't expect to see that.
It was actually kind of funny. Mr. Ganick slid that one in right as I was about to like load my stuff into the studio, so he kind of hit me with like the buzzer beater. Big shout out Ganick's over there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
But yeah, we got a lot of big stuff coming up, guys. I don't know if everybody caught it in the intro, but we actually have a pretty big Halloween show coming up for everybody. That's going to be live Thursday, the 31st, and it's going to come on at 9 p.m. Central. We're giving away 5 different prize packs, so there will be 5 winners that night. 2 of them are going to be like that automated wheel kind of thing. I still got to figure that one out. And if you guys want to enter today, you can go over to Instagram and there's some rules of like reposting and what you got to do to enter that way. But we are going to be bringing the community into the stream. So we're going to bring in 3 groups of 2, and you guys get to compete with like little games and stuff for the other 3 prize packs. Everything all together is worth over $500 too. We got Real Growers. Scotty threw in for the giveaway. They're giving out the bundle with the 24 grams of grow dots and 24 ounces of grow dots and 8 ounces of recharge. So it's everything you need for full 9 plants to run them through a cycle. We got Do You Right Genetics. Snow over there was nice enough to throw in 3 different seed packs. So we got Newts, we've got Genetics, and we're giving away plenty of cheesecake. If you guys want to come over by Cortez's house here, do a little bit of trick-or-treating.
Yeah. Eat responsibly.
As always, if you guys want to save 10% on any Real Growers product, go over to www.realgrowers.com/Cortez or use Cortez at checkout.
Save money on what you're already going to get.
I mean, you might as well, right? Oh, and then one more announcement, guys, before we bring the guest on. Next week, I'm going to the Goat Cup. So it won't be live. We still will be in the same time spot, 3 p.m. Centrals, right here on my YouTube channel. But we are doing a pre-recorded thing. I actually just got to edit it still, but it's going to be with J.R. Tolkien, and we're going to be doing like a cannabis as alternative medicine kind of thing.
Yeah. It's the second episode.
Really cool. Right after Captain Morgan, the comedian, we kind of did the kind of like the pill crisis, touched on some of the opioid stuff in like the Appalachias, some of the smaller like coal mining towns in like West Virginia out there. Well, you know, it's just good to bring a spotlight on everything, brings different perspective.
Exactly. And some people aren't as aware, so it's bringing awareness to
most
different
definitely.
methods.
But we won't hold you guys up too long, so let's go ahead and bring Chad in here. What's going on, Chaz Westport?
Yes, Westport in the house.
Yay!
How you guys doing?
What up,
Happy
Chaz?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Alicia.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. Cortez. See, I can't do that with your name because it ends with a Z. I can't Chaz it up. Cortez. There we go. Cortez. I figured it out.
That was totally unintentional. I was like excited to see you, but
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like noticed just from like, I don't know, I guess like street sense or whatever, that you were kind of like trying to hide and you didn't want to be bothered as much. So I'm like, oh, Chad, I gotta get him.
I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean, I like wasn't trying to make fun of you there. I was actually playing with you because I have gotten that a lot from some people. Is just the Chaz Westport. So I thought you were just part of the running joke too, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump on you, but yeah, it's all.
Oh no, I fucked up.
It's all good.
It was like in the moment. I was like, hey,
I was-
Chaz. But I think after 2 or 3 Chazes, it went back to Chad.
I was telling my wife the other day this though too. It's like because there was somebody that was like kind of being rude to me in Mexico, and I just I'm like whatever, like cool,
Right,
man. I'm gonna let you have your moment. Do you? Because I'm never talking to you again. So
Exactly.
do you? But
Maybe
it's
they
the
were
people that
drinking a
I
little too
like.
much, got some beer balls.
Yeah, it's the people that I like that I play with and push back on. So yeah, I was just trying to be playful there. I'm stoked to be.
It's always a
here,
good
though.
time.
I'm really stoked. Yeah, really stoked.
After
And-
we've known each other this long, Chad, I think you know that I'm not one of them like sensitive kind of guys, you know?
No, you're a playful dude too. That's why I figured it out. But you were just mentioning JR Token for next week and medicinal benefits. I have to say, like, without a doubt, his salve replaced my best salve that I've been using for years. I met up with him within this last year. It was shortly after the DGC Cup, actually, which is where I saw you last. But I met up with him and he gave me some. And like, dude, from the first time I tried it, I'm a believer. Like it is the go-to.
wow.
So you guys are gonna have a great conversation next week because talk about his salve, man. He's
Oh
he's
yeah.
got it
So
down.
that's actually kind of funny because that is something that like me and Jared talk about. Because like my wife, she had a stroke like 2 years ago now. Like she's made a really good recovery, but she's still so when it first happened, it was severe enough to where it was like everything on the left side of her body was like paralyzed. Like even when she would talk, the left side of her jaw wouldn't move. Like, she's walking, talking, she's got her independence again. She can do almost everything she used to do. But from like that stuff, like reconnecting, you know what I mean? It was what I guess I could compare to, like, you remember when you were a kid and you would hit like growth spurts over like maybe like a summer or something, you'd get like those growing pains of like your limbs growing. That's almost what she was getting, but it was her brain reconnecting with the limbs on her left side. So she would get this like intense nerve pain. It's actually kind of funny. JR is like a family friend at this point because like every days I come home and my wife will tell me about like a conversation that those two were having throughout the day, but they got similar kind of like pain management problems. So that's like a cool friend for her to have because she can ask questions. Because she wasn't really into like cannabis per se before the whole thing. But then, with some of the stuff they try to prescribe her and everything else, it's like cannabis is a lot better alternative. But recently, I kind of did like a play on JR's salve recipe. But like personally, I kind of prefer pain lotion. I feel like you get like a little bit better lather, a little bit better coverage. You can kind of like control it more where you're putting it. But I basically took his salve recipe and I took his recommendation for the CBD isolate. I took his recommendation for the Dit Dat Jow and I put it into cocoa butter shea infused lotion. And then
Okay.
I actually
Right.
added like scent on top of it. So to make it like a little bit more pleasant, I guess you would say. So it's kind of like more luxurious too. I put raw shea butter in there that I sourced from Africa. I got some really good stuff. But I added sandalwood and cinnamon. So it almost smells
Okay.
like
Yeah.
cologne or like a good smell, you know?
Yeah, I wonder if that
Candles, some type
adds
of
a
air
little bit of
freshener.
heat to it too. I don't know if that would a little bit of extra heat because sometimes you got to like feel it tingle to be like it's doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Well, one of the things I put in there too does have a menthol component, but I didn't want it to have the menthol smell. But I put enough of that to where you get you do get a little tingle. Like it's nothing crazy, you know what I mean? But it's
Right.
like, ooh, that's working. Got
Yeah.
I added, JR uses the emu oil, but rather than the emu, I decided I wanted to use DMSO.
DMSO?
Mhm.
What is that?
Maybe somebody in the chat here could help
Heard of
us out with
MC
what
like
that's
MCT oil.
where's
Familiar with
Traptor X when you need him?
MCT,
Sure.
No, so it
but
basically it's a carrier. So it's
okay.
something I learned about this actually from the Know Your Breeder episode with Banner, and he had
Nice.
Locomotive Medical on, and it was one. You know how sometimes you got to watch like 4 hours of podcasting just to get like one little gem. So I
Yeah.
kind of took that from him because he spoke so highly of it on the Know Your Breeder episode, and then kind of like remixed it into my JR Pain salve, into my own little play with like the nice lotion.
Is it
That's
something you
awesome.
make, or is it
Yeah.
something you buy? Okay.
No, I made it.
Yeah.
I was sourcing CBD isolate. I used my flour decarb, turn that into coconut oil. Sourced raw shea from Africa. It's pretty
Okay.
nice.
Because that'll probably thicken it up a little bit. That is one thing about putting it on is it can be a little bit greasy if you don't like rub it in. Like you'll want to like not
Right.
lay your nice like white shirt on top of it for a couple minutes. Otherwise, it's just going to come right through. But yeah, the
But
lotion
sometimes you kind of want to
actually
like
is-
let it breathe so it can like get in there. You know what I mean?
I mean, I have no complaints about it at all, but I could see where the application of doing what you're doing would actually kind of maybe enhance it a little bit. So that's cool. And he was
Or-
nice enough to share the recipe because, you know, he's
Oh
like,
yeah.
if it works for me, it can work for others. And that's kind of the
Right,
whole
right.
point, man, especially with the medicinal stuff. So that's
Oh
bad.
yeah. Spreading the word in the community, you know?
Yeah.
We're not out here like trying to sell courses like learn how to be an affiliate marketer. For only $69, you can buy my 13-step course. Like, no, we don't do
Right?
that. We're all friends.
And that's the thing with like a lot of the cannabis knowledge. It's like if you want it's all out there, you do have to go through some garbage to find the good. But once you find some good people, and you know, I always say trust but verify. You know, it's like there's
Yeah.
people that I trust out there and they'll talk about stuff that I have no idea about. I just have to trust their word. But I'll get that like keyword or the my own spelling of the word I didn't understand that they said. And then that'll lead me to Google. And that's where you kind of get to verify some of the things because
Right.
a lot of
Or maybe
information out
somebody's giving a tip or giving some advice, but they're in deep water culture and you're living soil, or vice versa. So not all information is applicable for everybody's situation.
That is very true. And that is a super important thing to remember when receiving advice or watching people online, because I do
Is
that
this
myself,
relevant
like,
to me?
yeah, because I automatically assume everybody's growing how I grow in my condition and in my
Right.
environments. And it's happened enough that now I'm like, okay, to qualify things a little bit at first. But very good point, because yeah, humidity in Florida is different than humidity in Colorado.
Very
Mhm.
much so.
The old phenotype versus genotype, huh, Chad?
Yeah, then you got the ecotype. Yep. I was gonna go down the road like Forrest Gump on all the types. You got genotype, but we won't.
Just start freestyling. Chad will be over there spitting.
Be here for a little bit.
That's one thing I haven't heard Mendo Dope do is just that freestyle, like the alphabet aerobics by oh god, I forgot who it was, but it was rad. It's like artificial amateurs are not amazing, analytically ISO and amazing. Classic Bond beats. I forget it, but he just like went through the alphabet, just like rhyming everything. I need to see somebody do that with cannabis or phenotypes.
Hell yeah.
Genotypes. Yeah.
So Chad, I
all
gotta ask, where did you get your start in cannabis? Like, how old were you when you were introduced to the plant?
Man, so like the flower, I was introduced at an early age, probably like 12, 13 is when I was introduced.
13's about that age. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I always hung out with like older kids too, so it was kind of, you know, some things of the older kids. I was a skateboarder, so of course we were like the natural rebels, and of course there were some pot smokers in the older kids.
All right. You guys probably had like nice little community over there at the skate park and everything.
Dude, there were no skate parks back in the day. Like that old. There was one skate park in the state of Washington, and it was 3 hours away on the east side of the mountains in Yakima. So now there's, if you live along I-5, which is the main freeway that goes
main corridor
in California.
Yeah. Every 15 minutes, there's a badass skate park now. So I've seen it come that far, but no, dude, we hung out. We got chased by cops. We got chased by jocks. Like we hung out in the industrial parks, wherever we could. So there was a good community though. Really good community, man.
Oh yeah. And then like a lot of people do know you from like the cannabis thing, but you got a really interesting backstory, Chad, with like all your kind of like film work and production and stuff.
Yeah, well, I did. So audio engineering is kind of like my trade, professionally trained with school to audio engineering. I also was a DJ, like rave DJ, nightclub DJ for over a decade, playing up and down the coast, getting press all over the world. That was great. That was fun. And video editing, like audio editing and video editing, it's all timeline based. So it's essentially the same. So like being able to learn professionally earlier in my life, like just transitioned into doing like video and other stuff. So it's been a fun kind of progressions, keeping everything in check. You know, skateboarding, music, and weed have always been in my life, but at different times they've been different focuses, you know. And now I'm happy. Now I'm happy to be kind of doing a lot of the cannabis stuff and, you know, getting by with that, but taking all the skills that I've learned up to this point and translating it into the cannabis stuff.
That's pretty cool. Like, it all interchanges over, and you keep applying the knowledge you have. Go forward with your new adventures.
Yeah, cumulative knowledge. I'm always trying to learn, even if I don't know why. Sometimes I hope it'll come to me later. I'll be like, that's right, I know about that, or at least where to look. I'm dangerous in that way. Like,
I can point you in the right direction.
The info. Yeah, I don't always remember the info, but I know where to go to look if you really want the like definition answers. So that's important too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how did you come up with
Sorry. Oh wait, go ahead, Alicia.
I'm going to ask about Twin Peaks. How did you come up with that name?
So Twin Peaks, in the 90s, it was a television show. It was filmed very close to me. It was a place where we would go up and smoke in the woods and have acid trips and just like enjoy the nature. And that like show really kind of hit a lot of things for me. So I've always been a fan. I've always liked that. But Twin Peaks kind of can also be a reference to like cannabis and how everything is really kind of a hybrid these days. There's not a whole lot of like true sativa and true indica that we're dealing with or consuming these days. And that's fine. But like, so the Twin Peaks cannabis is kind of like the best of both worlds, you know, it's like, it's got them both. So that's kind of how I like tied it into my own thing and into cannabis.
I like that. That's cool. I like that. What about the owl?
The owl is kind of a kickback to the TV show Twin Peaks, because the owls are not what they seem, which is the famous quote from that show. And the thing that really, like, David Lynch he's out there, but he does really awesome stuff like transdimensional meditation, and he like teaches inner city youth and all this stuff, but that's to the point of he's just like a far out kind of dude. But the thing that I really, really loved about the first season of Twin Peaks, the show, is like every sentence in like the shows has a meaning, and it will come up later or it will tie in, but I've never seen something so like brilliantly tied together throughout, and that's always like left an impression on me. So yeah, when it says the owls are not what they seem, there's many interpretations people can put to it, and I liked it. So I figure for the Twin Peaks, I'll go with a rockin' owl.
Yeah, I like them.
That kind of reminds me of a book that I read once that was called The Synchronicity Key. Have you guys ever heard about that?
No. Sounds interesting though. You got my interest.
Yeah, it's kind of like how there's no real like coincidences, and how everything in the universe kind of like intertwines and all that.
Yeah.
Quantum entanglement is a thing.
When you start to get those like feelings of deja vu, but it's not really deja vu. It's like maybe some sense of clairvoyancy. You know what I mean?
That messes with me. I do that a lot, and I sometimes, like, when I can't figure it out, I'm just like, I'm a stoner. It must have happened. I forgot.
I'll figure it out
Or
later.
I'll just be like, you know what? This is gonna like weird me out. I'm not even gonna think of it. Like, just find some suppress that.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
But yeah, there is no such thing as coincidences.
Do you believe in luck? Because it almost sounds like you wouldn't if there's no coincidences.
I don't know about luck as much as favor, but everything comes in cycles. You know what I mean? Because like I'm the type of person to where like I have good luck for the most part, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like nonchalant. Like I'm not happy, I'm not sad, I'm just kind of like in the middle, like operating. But when my bad luck comes, it'll all happen at the same time. So it'll be like 3-4 things just back to back. That's just like
a country song. Like, oh
yeah,
God, my life is a country song.
Yeah. It always happens in threes. You know what I mean?
The number they say.
I mean, celebrity deaths, unfortunately, you always do. You're just like, damn.
The 27 Club.
It's like, oh yeah, that too.
Forever 27.
That took Kurt Cobain.
What is it? Tupac, Janis Joplin,
Jim Morrison.
Cobain. I want to say Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix, I believe, is in there as well.
Wow. Was it Mama Cass too?
Yeah, there's a lot of members.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah. There's more. I was honestly happy when I passed 27. I was like, yes, I made it past the 27.
Yeah.
Because I mean, growing up in Seattle,
I had that same feeling.
Nirvana was a huge band here. I love them. I've got a freaking tattoo on my body. But you know, that's where I learned about the 27 Club is when Kurt Cobain killed himself. I was like, ew, all right, not a good club. So
not a good club.
I was happy I made it past 18, and I was happy I made it past 27. Now I'm over 40, and I'm just like, well, let's keep going.
Ride it out.
Didn't know I'd make it this far. So, you know, knock on wood, let's go as long as I can, man. And hopefully the weed will help me with that.
Yeah. How long have you been, like, since you created your business, Twin Peaks Cannabis? How long ago was that?
Yeah. Like officially, I think it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago now, because it's something that I've always just kind of been doing on my own. I never really had a name or like a logo or anything to it. I've just kind of been doing it. But then with the age of like branding and the internet and stuff, you almost kind of have to have some sort of identity. So I'm like, well, you
gotta have something a little unique.
Yeah. So that's when I kind of started putting it out, because that's when I was reaching out or working with other people because I had genetics that I would give out and just to help people out. Never thought anything of it. I didn't even really have strain names for them. It was always just like, X time or X crossed with Z. So people started asking, people started wanting at the same time too. So I'm like, I don't
What's
know. I
that
should have
one
an
strain
answer.
you got, Chad? That's like it's like the Die Hard one, like Nagasaki Tower or something like that.
Yeah, Nakatomi Plaza.
I
Nakatomi
stand corrected.
Which is a fun one.
I saw
I'm
some really dope pictures on Instagram of that one. So big
good,
salute to you,
good.
sir.
Thank you, dude. There's been some really awesome grows of that are out there. Monkey Dew and Trippy P are two of the ones that just come to the top of my head. I know Trippy had his stuff, his grow of the Nakatomi Plaza highlighted on the DGC show for like Dank Nugs of the Week or something. And Monkey Dew did a rad job. He reversed it. He continued the genetics. He did some breeding with it, and he got those out to a ton of people. So a lot of people are hitting me. We're like, hey, dude, I got that cross with, this and Nakatomi Plaza from Monkey Dew. So those are cool to see out there because I only have like 100 of them left. And I always hold back like 100 for myself.
Right.
I may want to just, pop all 100 and then go for something to keep it in clone form or to do a seed increase for future generations. So,
or if you ever want something down the line, just to kind of like maintain the line, just to make sure you got it around.
Yeah, because I can't keep
genetic preservation
of other plants. Yeah, like I have my 2 keepers right now, but there's a lot of other things that I would have kept, like some of those.
What's your keepers right now, Chad?
Westport grape juice, which has always been like my number one. I've been working with that for years. And then the Kool-Aid Man, which I've had for a couple years now. The No Joke, which comes out in November. So a couple of weeks. No Joke November. That is a Westport grape juice reversed onto the Kool-Aid Man.
That's right
and
around
I'm not
the corner.
sure. Yeah, it is. And Ed Tech, I know he's grown the Posse. I think you have the No Joke going as well, too. But he's grown some of my stuff and does a beautiful job with it. So it's cool to see him in chat here.
Ed Tech is a really dope grower. Big shout out.
Yeah, my store is back up. So the chadwestport.com. I've been gone for a little over a month. And I got back like 5 days ago. So I put the store back up. The Westport Posse is up there now. No Joke will be up there in November. But I took it down while I was gone because I wasn't going to be able to ship anything for 30 days. So I didn't want people to be like, I paid them and nothing ever came, which would be legit after 30 days, right? So I'm just like, I'll take it down. I put it back up. So it's
Chad, there really is no coincidences. We caught you just as you were coming back from your vacation, everything.
Yeah.
Got the big seed drop right around the corner. You see that? Just purely organic.
I like it. It works out. And I'm stoked to come and hang out with you for, a little bit of a longer session. And I get to hang out with Alicia as well. So like double bonus.
Hell yeah.
How was it? Because I know you were down in Mexico that last hurricane that had just gone through. You guys were getting some of that too. How was that, especially being in Mexico? How was that to endure?
Yeah, so the Hurricane Milton was the one that came through where we went to sleep and it was like a weak category 2 and it was going to hit the next day at like 5 o'clock. We woke up in the morning and it was category 5 pushing like to a category 6 if they had one, because it was up to over 180 miles an hour wind.
Wow.
Which is just crazy.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
So what'd you do? Like how'd you get out of there? Or you just kind of like waited it out? You just kind of bunkered down?
I was kind of gonna wait it out like I wanted to. My wife was terrified, but we're like, it'll be cool. There was a bathroom inside the house, and everything is concrete there. Like all the houses are concrete. Because
down in Mexico.
Everything. We were right on the water, so I mean, there's a seawall that the sea hits every night. So we were right there. But with like 4 hours to go before the intended or the projected landfall, the Mexican government said, okay, mandatory evacuations, because that shit escalated quickly. So we had the choice, and we don't speak Spanish. Like, we can get by on a couple things, but we don't speak.
You talking into the phone to do the translator thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Google Translate, dude. Yeah. So there was.
If it was me, the first sign of danger, I would have been in the fucking Jeeps, like it was like Jurassic Park. We need to get the fuck out of here. Come on, let's go.
Almost what it would have been, dude. We had, so the option was, you know, you could go to the center of town being just not even a town, guys. Like, it's just a bunch of concrete buildings, population maybe like 200, 300. Go to the center of town, get on a bus, and go to a shelter inland with everybody for the night, where basically you'd probably get a cot or a little foam mat. We don't
Measles
speak
blanket.
English, couldn't get, you know it. But we were,
what part of Mexico were you in, Chad?
So Progreso is the closest known. It's the Yucatan Peninsula. Merida is like the capital, and that's where the international airport is. It's actually like the safest town in the Yucatan. But you go out to the coast in Progreso. That's where the cruise ships come in. So that's what you'll see on the map. We were about 20 miles east of there, in a little bit more jungle area. Fortunately, the owner of the house. Big shout out, Los Chapitos. Yeah. See, I have no idea what that means. We were watching house sitting for a friend, and they were able at the last minute to arrange a driver. So we had someone spoke English come pick us up, took us back into Merida. They have a friend who had a house that was available. So we stayed there for a couple days, because you couldn't get back to the other house for a couple days before, and the power wasn't even on. So then we got back to the house. The houses and the structures were all fine. Again, everything was concrete. It was a hell of a lot stronger than Florida. Everything was fine.
Wow.
The ocean came in really far, went over the seawall, sucked some things out, caused a big sinkhole. So there was water damage from the big waves in the ocean, but nothing from.
Did you get any type of flooding?
Remarkable. Yeah. It didn't come all the way up to the house, because there's like the seawall, and then there's like 100 feet, and then another seawall, because there's just a whole bunch. It's a big property. I'm doing a vlog on that soon. There will be a Mexico trip video, so everybody will get to see it. But the second seawall is what stopped it from coming over and going into the pool and then flooding the lower floor. So yeah, I told my wife I wanted just to be out there and do the news reporter, so I could get that like awesome hair shots, but she was like, no, like, whoosh, it's a tornado out here, it's going crazy. But she wasn't into it, so we evacuated and we're safe.
No.
Hell yeah. You did that, Chad. You did that.
Hey, first hurricane, do it right, you know? Category 5 if you're gonna do it.
Was it kind of like that movie, Easter?
Some of the clouds actually were. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for, dude. Like coconuts flying and stuff.
See, like a monster go around.
A chicken. Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time she'll let me stay.
Yeah, exactly.
You should at least left like a little GoPro camera or something.
Right? I know. I'm curious, because I mean, they do have security cameras there, and they were on. But also, one thing that the government does there is they cut the power to towns and everywhere when the storms are coming, which is actually really freaking smart. Because
I heard they can get it back up faster that way if they cut it off like preemptively.
Yeah, because you don't have to like go out and like patch a bunch of shit that blew up because it fell into the water or the lines are down. Like
they started doing that past couple years ago in Florida too, didn't they?
Not that I know of, because we actually were having this conversation with one of the drivers down there afterwards, because they said, we cut the power off because so many things happen. And, in America, it's, you always hear about like the person that gets electrocuted or the transformer that blew up the propane tank or, it's all that because the power is still on. And I was like, yeah, but America will America. We want our right to use the freaking microwave in a hurricane. So don't cut our
First
power.
world problems.
My right. Yeah, it's my right to eat Pop-Tarts and watch the hurricane. You can't deny me this. So yeah.
The wife over here needs her hair straightener.
Exactly. How am I going to make dabs? Come on. We're in a tornado here.
That's funny.
The essentials.
Yeah,
'cause
I know.
if you're trapped with like your family or maybe even just like your significant other, some pets, you're gonna need some weed to get through that.
Oh yeah. Now, fortunately, we did have that arranged while we were down there. We're kind of like weed tourists. We don't go anywhere if we know we're not going to have weed. And that sounds crazy to some people, but to others, especially people who like use it medicinally, y'all understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can just smuggle it with you.
You know,
That
we
might be a
didn't.
little
We didn't.
that might
but
be a little sketch going out of the
International.
country, but
Yeah.
like
international. You don't fuck with
the
that.
continental United States. I mean, sometimes I
Have you
know
ever
this
seen-
one guy. He's real crazy. He does that kind of stuff all the time.
If you keep it personal quantity under an ounce, you're usually okay. Actually, on my way home from California, because
I mean,
before Mexico,
if you're
I was in
medical and
California.
you're going from one medicinal rec state to another medicinal rec state,
I was going Washington to California, and I was coming back California to Washington, and I did get pulled aside, and he's like, do you mind if I open this? And it's just to my bag. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he reaches in and he takes out my peanut butter. And he's like, technically, it's not a liquid, but it is a spreadable and it's over XYZ amount of ounces. So I'm going to have to take this. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I just didn't want to waste it. You can have it. And he's like, zips it up. Have a good day. And meanwhile, like right next to him are my bags of really smelly weed. But he's like,
keep the change, you filthy
sorry.
animal.
Yeah, right.
With that Home
So-
Alone real quick.
Yeah. So yeah, but I don't mess with the international borders, man. Don't play with that. It's not worth it.
You don't want to
It
end
is-
up like who is that WNBA? I forget her name.
Yeah.
Oh,
The one that
Griner.
got caught up
Brittany
in
Griner.
Russia. Yeah, they held
Well,
her for a while. Like
have you ever
they
seen
taught
that-
her a lesson.
Yeah.
They had that television show. It was called Lock Up Abroad. Like people in Thailand, and then these like torture, basically like kept in a dungeon and horrible experiences because they were like
they don't fuck
doing
around,
something.
especially some of
Yeah.
those like Asian countries. Like
Yeah.
they got. This is
If you think our jails are bad, it's a Holiday Inn
right.
yeah, that's it.
comparatively.
End
Yeah.
up in jail in like fucking Siberia somewhere.
No. See, it is legal in Mexico. Like it's similar to legal states here. You're allowed to possess up to an ounce. You're allowed to have some on you. But I also didn't want to test the theory of like smoking in public or like public tolerance. So it was always private. We weren't, when we were out in the cities or when we were out there, we weren't smoking actively. Because I don't want to get that like, so the fine is exactly how much you have in your wallet right now and you can go.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't want
how
to
you
test
gotta keep
that.
your money
Exactly.
separate. Somewhere like Mexico, I got like my
Oh, they're
jeans
smart.
on, and I
They're
got some
smart.
money right here that I can just kind of like give up. I got some singles over here. I always wear all shorts under my jeans, so I got money in the basketball shorts too. Because in Mexico, you always want to have enough money if it ever comes down to a bribe. If you get stuck in like a sticky situation, you'd be surprised how. And with them, but it's like so ingrained in the culture that like they're almost a little offended if you don't try to bribe them. So if you hand them like 50, $100, and then like my Spanish is all right, so I can kind of
Nice. All right. You can negotiate and man
Yeah,
up
yeah.
a little bit.
out of respect, I'm giving you this $50. Okay, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm gonna go on my way.
That was great advice you provided to me. Here's a little reciprocation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I will be on
Yeah.
my way.
It's not even so much about the bribe. It's just the show of respect. It's like
I wish it wasn't so expensive.
Yeah,
I
I mean-
never had to deal with that down there, which is good.
you're in
But I did,
Chicago.
you tip.
If I want to go into Indiana, I got to take the toll road. Before I leave the house, I know I'm going to have to pay a couple dollars at the toll to get where I'm going.
I mean, it's a good analogy.
This is true.
Yeah. But then you're not thrown into a Mexican prison if you don't have enough. So
No, put it like this:
Yeah.
the last time I was in Mexico, you could get back across the border with a state ID. So that
yeah, now you have
Okay.
to have that passport.
They hit us again for since 9/11.
Oh yeah,
Every time, but 3 times now, and one was actually going to California this time. So every time I've flown, I always get secondary screening.
Really?
Really?
It's some bullshit. It's
Your
supposed to
name's
be
Brandon
random.
Green too.
It's supposed to be random, but I'm batting like 98% here. So come on. And in that time, I've accidentally had stuff with me, and I discovered it like while I was on my trip or my destination. I was like, oh, dude, I actually had that on me when he double searched me.
So that's just me, and especially as like internet personalities, that just means you pissed off someone in the NSA and you have an FBI handler. Welcome to the club, chat.
This is 13 years ago. This is way before I was like publicly cannabis. Like, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I seem to get them all, so I wasn't surprised.
Same list.
On our way back
Same
from Mexico,
list.
we got the swab test. Had to open our laptops and our hands and our shoes. Yeah, basically what they do is they swab, and this is interesting too, because they're looking for residue of one type or another. Typically, it's like bomb-making components, but it can also be drugs like cocaine or something. And that was interesting when she went in to made me open the laptop and swap the laptop too, because I could have been clean and fresh and whatever from the day, but if I was doing something and part of something big and working on my computer, it'd probably be on my keypad. But back to the bomb making stuff is a lot of nitrogen came from like bomb making stuff.
Fertilizer.
I actually knew a friend who works on the farm and had been working on the farm early that day, and he was mixing soil, and he got to the airport and they did the things with his hands, and it came back, and he was
I think I've heard Adam Dunn tell that story before, that he got going from Amsterdam back to the United States. They actually swabbed me once. I don't know why. Like, that one was weird. That was coming back to Chicago from Miami International.
Okay. Yep.
I got the whole.
I've had it all. I make them touch my. Sorry, Alicia. I make them touch my bees because they always want to do the wand check, and I'm like, no, pat me down, bro. You got to pat me down, and they always look like it's kind of invasive. I'm like, I've been patted down so many times in my life, like not anything new. But they're always like, oh my gosh. I'm like, So I make it as awkward for them as it is for me. Yeah, I'm like, if you guys really want to do this, let's just make it awkward.
Or have you ever got the thing where they don't put their hands like directly down your pants, but they're like backwards and they like fish around in your waistband?
Because
that's
if
the
you
most
touch like
awkward
this,
thing.
It's like molesting, but if you touch like this, it's just padding.
But it's like, to me, like, I got that once
way.
And it was like so offensive. It's like, come on, like, I've been locked up before. Like, this patting me down won't bother me, but you with your like fucking jab hands in my waistline, like, that's a little much.
But see, that's the risk I take. I may get the person who enjoys that job too much.
Right. He's got a little lisp and a little skip in his stuff,
Knock on wood, I haven't run into the overly handsy person yet.
That's funny. All those TSA agents out there, watch out. Can't
I
find
know, right? I know. I'm good though.
I guess my middle name's Random Search, but
right, it probably is. And it always sucks because, like, especially the time this last time coming back from Mexico, we get there, you have to get your exit visa or your exit stamp on the passport. And we're just happy bullshit,
and then you got to pay the customs fee to get back in the country.
Stoned. Yeah, we were already stoned for the day, so we're just probably a little bit too happy, and he was just like happy and jolly with us. And then we get to the gate and they're like, yeah, you've been flagged for the extra security. I'm like, that asshole. He's the one who flagged me.
You snake.
I know.
I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Oh,
Hit him with the fucking
yes.
Scooby-Doo real quick.
Oh yeah. As I get older, I'm practicing my fist shaking.
Oh, yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Get off of my grass.
Oh, you're shaking your
Oh, that was
fist.
a great movie.
You're definitely gonna need
So
it.
tell us more about this big drop you got around the corner there,
Yeah.
Chad.
Thank you. So no joke is again. So it's the Westport grape juice reversed onto the Kool-Aid Man. There's two really pronounced phenos from it. One is like strawberry fruit punch, and I actually had Shield Maiden's Garden, who is growing it as well, describe it as like red Gatorade, and like that's a good analogy. So we've got that profile, which is really like fruity, sweet. I dig that. I brought it to the Adam Dunn show actually when I was in Colorado and I saw you, and that was the one bag he like kept close to him, and he was like, "I like this. We should collab." So that pheno was good. Got his approval, which made my day. But the other pheno is kind of it leans more towards the Kool-Aid Man, so it has like a savory, funky, almost like chicken noodle soup, like chicken bouillon smell to it. The guy who grew it gave me this hat, kind of said it almost reminded him of white truffle. But the same person tested for me, grew it out phenomenally, and won a grower's cup with that pheno. So two phenos, one sweet, the other's funky. The sweet tends to stay a little bit shorter, tighter internodal spacing, and like maybe 5 days quicker flowering time. That's kind of more on the Westport grape juice side. The Kool-Aid Man side is just a little bit taller, extreme amount of trichomes, and finishes maybe 65 to 70 days. So those are really the two phenos that you're gonna find. They're feminized seeds, so everything you pop's gonna be a female. And yeah, if you go to chadwestport.com and then sign up on the mailing list, I'm gonna let everybody on the mailing list know a few days before it goes on sale that they'll be on sale, and then let them kind of get a first crack at it, and then I'll let everybody know through like IG or something. But I'm also gonna give away some freebies on that too. It's Burmese.
Piss off some testers in the community. What's up?
Well, so it's like, I guess I'm just gonna call it like God, what did I write it down? Not bag seed, but baggage. That's what it is, baggage. Because
that's cool.
I found a paper bag full of seeded buds, and it's from probably about 1.5 years ago. And I remember putting it somewhere where I'd remember it, but 1.5 years later, I just opened it. I'm like, oh, dude. This is
the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. It was a Burmese Kush female times Afghani #1 male. The Afghani #1 male I used for chud. I also used for oh God, I can't remember right now. I used it for a couple things, but there are some things that just never saw the light of day, and this is one of them. Ty Sticks, Ty's Garden has grown it out, but he's the only person who has grown it out. So it's untested, but it should be pretty stable. So I'm going to give those out too. People have been asking since they saw Ty's pictures of it. They're like, where can I get it? I'm like, I'll just give them out as
let
freebies.
it go.
So, yeah.
Do a little Johnny Appleweed. And then if anybody wants to check Chad's stuff out, if you go in the description of this video, I have a clickable link to his Instagram.
Thank you for putting that in there, because Instagram,
yes,
Instagram, YouTube,
it's in the description right now.
Yeah, those are the really only places that I'm at, so that's where to find me.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Good to know.
So if anybody wants to reach out, he's got a link.
Thank you.
And then go to the website and sign up so you can get the first knowledge of when the drop comes.
Do you got the website in your bio on the IG there, Chad?
Yes, I think I do. I should. If I don't, I think I do. And actually, I do have like a bio up on the website too. Like if you click on info, you kind of get a little bit about what my actual background is with growing stuff. But you also get links to the different companies that I write for. And you can find a lot of like tutorials, buyer guides, like different things. If you're getting into growing or you want to refresh, some knowledge, check out the articles that I write, because that's really kind of how I sustain all of this stuff. Is I
It's
write
actually
for
kind of funny.
companies.
Me and you met online before I even started my Instagram. Me and you started talking through the Dude Grows website.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I remember. Yep.
Yeah, like my
That
name,
was-
like I had like just thought up the name like the week prior, and all of a sudden I got Chad
Damn.
talking me up.
I didn't realize it was
not
that
even on the Instagram, on the Dude Grows website.
I miss the forum days, honestly, because forums and places like that are where like community comes together. Like Instagram, Twitter. I'm old. I'll call it Twitter. Those are all individualized. So it's like you're there for the individual, whereas
Exactly.
like the forum, you're there for like the community and the conversations, and that's where you meet people. I've met so many rad people from that DGC forum, like unbelievable amount.
That's how me and you talked the first time.
I'm glad we met there, because that's what bring back forums.
This was, I don't know, probably like maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, though.
Yeah. Oh, at least. Yeah. Time flies, man. Time really flies. I think like 2018, 2019 was really heavy on the DGC, because again, I loved helping people out, and like Jay Maestro, who was on there, he had a lot of great information.
Great guy, Jay Maestro.
Yeah. I gave him some of my genetics too while I was down there. I wonder if he's growing them out. That'd be cool to see what he thinks, because he's a solid dude, and he knows his stuff. So like I was there, I was learning just along with everybody else too. You share what
Just
you know, and you learn what you don't.
Everybody who doesn't know who we're talking about, Jay Maestro is actually the one that played a really big part in forming the community that does revolve around Dude Grows, because he was their original moderator.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Just to give Jay Maestro his proper respect on the show. I do want to
Yeah.
Been through the trenches.
He kept it, he kept the community what his vision was, and it was rad, because there weren't like elitist jerks. Everybody was just there to be cool.
Afraid to ask questions and get like belittled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smart people ask questions, dude. Like if you don't know something, ask the question. Smart people ask questions.
Dumber not to ask a question.
Exactly. Let your pride get in the way and just suffer or not figure it out. Or sometimes you fix it, but you don't
But
really
it's
know
like
why.
they made a community to where people felt comfortable enough to ask the questions, and it wasn't even like that little like anxiety, like, oh, somebody's gonna like judge me type of thing,
Yeah.
And there was
That's
people
important.
like yourself, like Jay Maestro, like Bander, like everybody that was willing to help with the questions that they would ask.
Yep. Yeah. It was a good community, and it's changed a couple locations since then, which has been unfortunate, because I haven't been able to keep up. Like I'm not on the new DGC forums.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I started one, but I'm not really active on that. If anybody wants to get a hold of me for one reason or another, Instagram's really the best place to watch out. I got a link in the description to Alicia. That's what I'm the most responsive on, but it's like with everything else going on in my life, plus like working, actual job, career, home, family life, the plans, editing content, everything. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Not all superheroes wear capes, but I don't think I have to tell you that.
Oh, I saw a great meme the other day. It's like, next time your spouse gets angry, walk over with a cape and just be like, now you're super angry. See how well that goes over. I want to try it one day. Just like grab a sheet or put it around her.
Got
And
a
be like, now you're super
feeling
angry.
that would go over like a turd in the punch bowl.
Or she might laugh if she's not serious.
But here, guys, here's a pro tip. If she does get angry, just tell her to calm down.
Yes, that 100% always works.
Always.
If you say it very calmly and rationally, she'll understand.
Don't do it. If you don't know, don't do it.
I think anybody over about the age of 22 knows that that's a bad idea.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Experience.
But Cortez says.
Yeah. Cortez gotta start getting some hate emails.
It's okay.
It's
They talked about Jesus.
Oh shoot.
Oh goodness.
If anything, people might try to start complaining to like my wife's profile page. I guess she's like the HR department.
Yeah.
Because we know who runs the show. Always happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Words to live by, 22-year-old.
Between my wife, she helps with a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and then Alicia helps with a lot of the organizing too, which I'm so grateful for. Because I'm like ADD to the max, and then I don't know, I'm fucking hyper. I'm a stoner, so forgetful.
It takes a team, especially when you're as busy as you are. And like Alicia, I'm sure that you have like strong points that aren't necessarily Cortez's strong points.
Well, yeah,
and that's
she's
really
amazing with
things,
the videos, like a lot of the spoiler videos, all the basically like promo that led up to having you on. Actually, Alicia,
those were awesome. Those were awesome. So good job. Like hats off. As I was watching, I'm like, yeah. I was rooting for him. That was rad.
Yeah, everyone I do, I learn something new I can do. I was like, oh, look, I can do this now. Like when I did the one with the floating where they broke apart the owls. That was just like an effect. I just happened to hit it. I'm like, oh, I can do this now. Yay.
That happened to be the scene where I was holding up the cookie sweater too. I was like, oh, that's a cool effect. But damn it, the cookie sweater comes to haunt me.
Yeah. I like learning them. Sometimes it's like the worst is finding music or like getting like where the points of the music hit something and doing like sometimes I like a little effect to kind of go with the sound of it.
Yeah.
Or it's almost like the music matches with the transitions.
Yeah. Just to add that.
The audio engineer in me is like time stretching. You can make it fit, but that's
I know what you mean.
Slow it down or speed up the video.
So in like Ableton is my favorite program. So like
sir.
Time stretch, because when you speed up a record or slow down a record, the voice either gets really high or it gets really low. Yeah. But with the technology today, it's called
Red Rum 66.
Exactly. So it locks in the pitch of the voice. So the voice the sound of the voice doesn't actually change, but it will speed up or slow down the BPM or the tempo of the song. So like you can really take something that doesn't fit and make it fit without anybody really realizing, because the voice is still the same. So yeah, pitch lock, time stretch, good audio trick. Yes.
Sometimes.
What did you say the name of the program was, Chip?
Ableton, Ableton. It's an audio editing program, but they really came out with a quality one first. And this is probably, at least 15 years ago now. But because they were the only ones that had one that was like really functional, I just used that program for that. And you could do so much other stuff in it. But I'm sure if you have like any professional video editing software, it probably will have the time stretch or pitch lock feature in it.
So I personally use CapCut. Are you familiar with that?
It's based off of a cell phone. I am cell phone and app illiterate, so I've heard of it.
Oh no, you can get it. You can get it I got it on the laptop too.
Really?
So it's for it's for computers as well as.
I think it's new to it.
There's some stuff that I do that I can only do from the computer, but I can't do from my phone, and it's usually some more of like the audio stuff like that. That episode we did with Scotty recently, my audio was like a dog turd at them. Like that whole night leading up to it, it was like the universe was against like me getting Scotty on the show. And it was like one that I was really excited for. So I think that's kind of why I was having like bad luck that night per se, you know what I mean? But at the end, I'm so glad that it was pre-recorded. I just recently got a new microphone, got a couple other things. So like that was one of like the eye openers that was like, I must fix this. I can't keep going on like this. But from that episode, just to put it out, I had to teach myself how to remaster audio. So I was using like the Adobe AI software, had to remove the audio from the video. It and then put it back to the video, but then like make sure that it wasn't like an old kung fu movie with like the words in the mouth and everything.
What do you mean?
You disrespect my look like some Bruce Lee shit, you know what I mean?
That's real.
That wouldn't have been a good look. That wouldn't have been a good look.
Anytime you separate the audio, you risk that, because sometimes like you'll separate the audio and you'll like, oh, I just need to trim like this 0.5 seconds of video out, or like, oh, I'm going to take out that big, like my cell phone ring. I'm going to take out the cell phone ring here. And then you put it back together and then you're like, oh shit, it's off because I didn't edit it together.
Yeah.
Didn't combine the layers.
That's one thing when I do the ones for like what we're talking about right now for the ads, I will take it, but I have to make sure everything's lined up because I want the vocals separate from the video. So I mute the video, put down the audio track, but then like I always have to remember, like when I go to clip something out, I have to do it on both of them, because once I move, it could be that half a second you will tell them like, oh, we're gonna start this over again.
Or if you edit your whole video in CapCut, but then you add like a beginning and it pushes everything off. Yeah, I've done that.
Yep.
I don't know. Probably the biggest pain in my ass lately has been like aspect ratios. But then it depends on like what I'm posting to. Am I posting to Instagram? Am I posting to YouTube? Because I notice it because I'll put like my videos on the TV, so that's where I notice like everything on the big screen. But that's like the biggest buzzkill when it's just like a skinny like video in the middle, and then you got the black bars on the side.
I always try to, like my wife always wants to film this way. I'm like, this way, sweetie, please. She doesn't care, but just like my brain is like, it has to be
that's not correct.
but like think about it this way though, because I do, when I have editing, I have like a really big monitor and it has really freaking fantastic color. Like everything looks great on there, and then I'll like watch it through my laptop and I'm like, oh crap, it was a little bit dark. But keep in mind, like the most common screen people are watching your video on is their phone. Yeah. So even when you do get it super big and you're like, oh, that little thing is just like out, or like, oh, that just looks a little tweaked, majority of people are watching it on a screen this size.
Oh yeah.
So because you can, and hopefully you feel better.
You can go into like YouTube Studio. They actually have like the breakdown of like how many people watched your show from a TV versus a phone.
Okay. Yeah, that's always interesting. Being a data geek, I would like that stuff.
No, I mean it's bad though, because like once you know how to do it, it's like you gotta like remind yourself like not to check it so much.
Yeah, I'm horrible at that too. I'm horrible.
Yeah. But do you got any shout outs you want to give, Chad?
Just shout out all you guys, everybody that hangs out and chat, everybody that's gonna leave a comment or a thumbs up, and just to you guys for having me. I like super appreciate the chance to come and hang out, talk a little bit of cannabis, talk a little bit about life and other things. So yeah, I'm just check out my website, chadwestport.com. That's my shout out.
And the Best Grow Show, when is that airing? Or when does that air for everybody?
Thank you. So the Best Grow Show and Seed Collector shows, they're Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Chad Westport YouTube channel. And I kind of tend to alternate those. So we just did a Best Grow Show yesterday, and with the guys from the Seed to Harvest podcast.
Big shout out
Thank
those
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Bruce Goofy, Colorado Chris,
And the
And
Alcan store.
Tour.
El
Yep.
Canisor,
That
the
was a
biggest
fun
shout out.
conversation. Went quickly. So the next week, actually, I'll have another Seed Collectors episode, and I'm going to start to shoot brand new episodes of Seed Collectors here in the next couple of weeks. So this next one that's coming up is, conversation wise, one of my favorites. It's a return guest. So yeah, that'll be next Saturday at 2.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
It's fun. Go check it
Definitely
out.
have to come check you out, Chad.
Thank you. Please do. Yeah.
Well, all right, Chad. Appreciate
Thank
having
you.
you on, bud.
It's fun.
Have to have you back on again soon.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys have a great night, and party on. Yeah. See ya.
Party on, Gar. Oh, Chad's such a great guy, isn't he, Alicia?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Chad's definitely one of my favorite humans.
Yeah, very appreciative that he came on. You get to learn some stuff and then just freaking, chill, laugh, have fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. Chad's always, he's like so cool, but he's always like a wealth of knowledge at the same time. That's why I definitely do.
And it's not like listen, going on and on and on. It's just like telling you the facts, and does it so you want to listen and you want to like absorb it.
Oh yeah, he's so down to earth.
Yeah.
But reminder to everybody, we are going to be on next week. We're going to have J.R. Token. We're not going to be live though. It's going to be pre-recorded. I'm going to be at the Goat Cup. Kind Buds, Dank Nugs. He's going to be out there with me.
Yep.
So we'll definitely be shooting some content while we're out there. So that's going to be fun.
That'll be fun. I'm excited to see the pictures.
Hell yeah. So everybody tune in next week. And then don't forget as well, we have that huge giveaway that we're doing on Halloween. That's going to be at 9 p.m. Central. And we're giving away over $500 in prize packages. So you guys should definitely check that out.
Yep. It'll be fun in games. It'll be cool.
Almost definitely. But tune in next week for JR Token. See you guys back here live 2 weeks from now, and I'm gonna be on Grambo later tonight. So make sure you guys tune into So make sure you guys tune into the Grambo show. Be a little bit later, so hopefully I'm not too fucked up by then. Go in there and terrorize Grambo a little bit. It's always a good time on Grambo, though.
Yeah. He's
funny. Bye, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Make sure to flood Alicia's DMs on Instagram with birthday wishes.